Okay, welcome back. I hope you guys can hear me okay. The camera is a bit farther away than what it has been in previous videos because I'm not carrying it around with me. I think I'll zoom myself in just a wee bit more. Here we go. It's a little better. So, yeah, I don't have my sunglasses on. I don't have a bandana on. You can actually, see me in this video. I'm human, I promise. So, something I did want to go over because a coworker actually recently asked me this. Why do people do van life? And that's actually a very valid question. It's a valid question that has so many different, I just ate so I'm burping, has so many different answers. It's not a matter of why okay, why is the wrong question. The better question is what drove someone to make the decision. Okay, when I hear the word why, I think of something that's has to do with impulsivity or, just like a whim, something whimsical. So I'm going to answer that question as best I can, and I might ramble just a little bit. You'll have to just kind of work with me and forgive me. I have a cat right next to me, so if she might appear, she might not. So anyhow, so why van life, or what's made you stumble into van life? Well, here's the thing. First, I'm going to explain my personal choice. The reason I am choosing van life, for starters, I am a huge road trip junkie. I love long car rides. I love driving through scenic spots. I just love driving. I'm a very good driver. I was a school bus driver for 7 years, and I really loved that job. I was great at it. Not just driving the bus, but I had control over the kids on my bus. So anyhow, yeah, road trip junkie. And what's next on the list is I'm one of those people that I function so much better when I'm just kind of left to my own devices. I like to set things up the way that I want them. I don't like things cookie cuttered or pre-created or pre-packaged and pre-arranged and prefabricated. I can't stand that. I'm one of those people where when I'm in a space I have to make it my own, and that entails a lot of personalization. A lot of constructing, a lot of doing for me. I'm one of those people that I love projects, and I love to build things, do things, repurpose things, rehab things. I'm also an artist, so I guess I kind of have that free spirit, wanderlust thing going on. I've always felt very comfortable in nature. In fact, when I was a kid, I think I spent probably 80% of my time, excuse me, outside, just climbing trees on the swing set, climbing fences, getting into mischief, on my bicycle, on my rollerblades, digging holes, making mud pies, playing hide and seek, fiddling around with anything outside. I guess there's also kind of an aspect of roughing it that somewhat appeals to me, just because I've kind of always been one of those people that's very attracted to roughing it / survivalist / doing your own thing / creating your own little world. Those types of scenarios are really appealing to me and are to a lot of people. The thing about van life is it's a labor of love. When you get a van and you convert it, you're never really finished. Especially if it's a much newer van. It's one of those, if it's got a lot of life left in it, if you buy a van, say that's 5 years old, and you're going to get another 5 to 7 to 10 years out of it, you're going to do your first build, and you're going to get a year into van life, and then kind of you will have worked out the bugs. So that means basically you'll have figured out and decided, what should I have done differently? What is it that needs to be changed? And does, my rig actually work for me? And those changes will be made. So it's sort of it's a gradual, long enduring project. Now in my case with Reaper, Reaper is now 10 years old. Like I said, got it 2.5, no, 3.5. Fuck. 2.5 years ago. Uh, yeah, two and a half years ago. Good God. God, it's been that long. Jesus Christ. Anyway, 2.5 years ago, with the intent of camping in it, but it never really crossed my mind that I would be doing so many modifications to it and doing so much work on it and making so many changes to it to convert it into a tiny house on wheels, essentially. I bought that van, like I said, I just wanted to go camping. You know, I wanted to go camping hard side, and I wanted to be able to haul people, haul shit, haul ass. And that thing does haul ass, too. It can go fast, and it can go fast, fast. So, there's that. But like I said, it's a labor of love. It's something that can be passion-driven. A lot of people love a project, they love something hands-on, they love something where it's a self-controlled activity that involves troubleshooting, planning, identifying issues, tackling issues, and then at the end you have tangible results, which is extremely therapeutic. A lot of people really love that. I love that. It's very fulfilling, and it's fun to talk about to others. You know, like every single day when I'm doing work on the van or I've done something, the first thing I do is, like, you know, I tell my mom, then next day I'll tell my coworkers, and they're actually very interested, by the way, because I did go ahead and tell my boss that I did grab a summer job at Deschutes National Forest, and I now have a deadline to have the van ready. My goal is to be on the road before or around April 20th, 4/20. So when I made that announcement, there were some long faces at work, because actually the Kentucky Derby is coming up, and since I live in Louisville, I mean, that's Derby Central. Churchill Downs is less than a 20-minute drive from my house. So, yeah, Derby weekend, Derby, yeah, it gets very, very busy. The first week of May, liquor stores get so clogged up with people, you'd think it's the end of the world, and there's never going to be any alcohol left ever again. Because they're throwing parties and whatnot, they're celebrating the money they won at the track and blah blah blah. So anyway, there's that, and so she's concerned and she's wanting to hire somebody, and so yeah, keeping them updated is kind of a struggle because the starting season at Deschutes National Forest starts on May 1st tentatively, but it depends on the weather, specifically snowfall. If they're getting crapped on with snow in April, then they'll postpone the opening date for their campgrounds and whatnot. So that would probably be the first, you know, one reason people choose van life. It's a passion thing, and it's a personality thing. That sort of gypsy soul or free spirit sort of persona combined with the persona that loves projects, loves planning, loves traveling, also loves not planning and traveling. As of now, I'm a planner because I am playing it kind of safe. This is my guinea pig pretty much. This summer's the guinea pig. You know, Reaper is a project van, and I don't know how much more life I'm going to get out of Reaper. Hopefully a lot. It is a Dodge minivan, and Dodge has come a long way in the last several years as far as the longevity and quality of their product. So, yeah, it's passion driven, it's hobby driven, it's interest driven. So there's that. You know, guinea pig, the whole guinea pig thing. You know, yeah, this is the test run this summer. I'm sure in a couple summers, Reaper will have probably gone to car heaven, and I will have purchased another van, hopefully another van. So I am paying off some loans right now that I took out to have some surgery. I'll get into that some other time. This is not the time or place to talk about that crap. Okay, good. My battery's still good. So the next reason is retirement. I'm going to go over that reason. A lot of retired people choose to sell their homes and sell their belongings, or sell their home and store their belongings and hit the road. In a camper, in an RV, in a van. And that's just how they live. You know, traveling north in the summer, south in the winter, and it's just something that they're just enjoying the twilight years. They're just enjoying the days where they no longer have to deal with the 9 to 5 daily grind, the rat race. So, and also quitting the rat race is one of my reasons for choosing van life. I have no interest in trying to be promoted at work. I have no interest in trying to succeed, as people call it. I think it's horse shit. I think it's well, okay, no, it's not horseshit. Some people it's important. I don't want to invalidate that. It's not for me. I don't care about that stuff. I've done it before. I've been promoted at jobs before. I've been in management before. And at this point in my life, 40 years old, starting over, it's just not for me. No. I want to rather focus my energy and time on something that's going to be long term that I can actually enjoy and derive fulfillment out of, that isn't necessarily for someone else, and with all this responsibility and very little compensation. So with van life, there is a responsibility and there is a great deal of effort that you have to put in, but there's so much compensation. There's a lot of compensation, and I'm not trying to romanticize it at all whatsoever, but if you've been van lifing for a while, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, back to retirement. People who are retired, they're on a pension, or they're getting Social Security. They've got a Medicaid or Medicare plan for their health insurance. They might have a nest egg of money they've been saving up. Like I said, they've probably sold their house or sold possessions, and they have a chunk of money that they can spend enjoying the last 20 or 30 something years of their lives. So that's another reason that some people choose van life. The last reason I'm going to go over actually has to do more with money. No, this is actually not the last reason. There is another reason, but I'll get to that. So, this particular reason, the third reason, has a lot to do with money. This is my observation. You can argue with me all you want, but for my generation, people born in the late 70s, early 80s, and beyond, home ownership is getting farther and farther out of reach from us. I don't think I'll ever be able to own a home. Stagnating pay rates, rates of pay at the workplace, are causing people to not have enough money to save any money, really, unless you have rich parents who paid for your college and paid for your car and have been taking care of you. And unless you have rich parents or you win the lottery, you're not going to own a house. You're not going to own a house, unless you work your way up. It's going to take years. For instance, if I was 20 years old, working in retail, and then at 22 I got promoted to a manager, then at 25 I got promoted again, it would still take another 5 to 6 years after that for me to be able to afford a down payment on a house, on top of paying rent and utilities and all the other crap you have to pay for when you have a brick and mortar home. So, that being said, if you think about it, if you're living in a minivan, you've got your car insurance every month, you've got your whatever kind of mobile internet subscription you have, you've got your phone, gas, the occasional toll bridge fee, you gotta eat. So that's really, if you weigh that in a comparison to a house or an apartment where you've got rent or mortgage, utilities, homeowners insurance, repairs and maintenance, that's astronomical compared to what it's like to live in a vehicle. Yes, you have to maintain a vehicle, oil changes, repairs, and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, that's that's very far and few in between. Living in a house, not only that, living in a house means you have to mow the lawn, and you have to keep your pets contained, and there's just so much that goes along with it, and you have neighbors. In a minivan, or in a van, or in a schoolie, a converted school bus, you don't have to mow a lawn. You don't have to deal with the newspaper being chucked in your driveway. I mean, your neighbor's newspaper. It actually happened here several years ago. We had a problem where our neighbor's newspaper was getting chucked in our driveway, and they had to walk across their yard to get their paper out of our driveway, or we had to pick it up, walk across the yard, and drop it on their porch. So, and I'm not saying that neighbors shouldn't look out for each other and have each other's backs, but at the same time, it's just one of those dumb little nuisances that gets eliminated by living in something mobile, rather than a brick and mortar. So, yeah, utilities, screw that. mowing the lawn, screw that. You know, I do enjoy having a garden, but at this point in my life, you know, a garden can be the woods. That can be where I do my daily outdoor exploring and hard work. So yeah, it is money driven as well. So living in a minivan or living mobile is definitely way cheaper than living in a brick and mortar. So it's a practicality issue. Also, if you are living in a van and you don't like your neighbors or you get tired of the scenery, you can just pick up and leave. It's literally that simple. You can pick up and leave, no muss, no fuss. Although you know, I will say that I don't think I've ever encountered a neighbor I truly disliked living in brick and mortar, except there's one incident many years ago in my early 20s when my daughter was a baby. One, you know, really just the one neighbor from hell I've had, and that's it. But as far as van life goes, it really is a tight community. Van lifers look out for each other. We have each other's backs. We love to hang out and socialize with each other generally. Van lifers tend to have a lot in common with each other, and you know, kind of. I'm not going to say it's like church, but it's one of those things where the community is close knit, and there's not very many of us. So when we see each other and hang out with each other, it's very fun, very fulfilling. So yeah, sitting around, you know, a fire pit, exchanging, you know, showing each other pictures of the places that we've been, telling stories about things, talking about why we became van lifers, basically just, you know, kind of wrapping it out, talking and gabbing and gossiping and just kind of going over our own little personal philosophies about van life. I'm not saying that's all we ever talk about, but it does tend to dominate the conversation for the first 20 minutes you meet another van lifer. So yeah, I don't mind neighbors van lifing because hey, if they don't like me, they can leave. If I don't like them, I can leave. So it's literally, like I said, it's literally that simple. So another reason people choose van life, and this is going to be kind of controversial what I'm about to say, because okay, yippies, meaning rich hippies, yuppie hippies, who think it's cute to be roughing it. They have a lot of money. They've got these down to earth values, which I think it's just a front in the case of these fucking people. Like, you know what? We're not gonna live in a brick and mortar. You know, we're gonna live in a van because it's so cute to rough it, and we're gonna upload 20 videos to TikTok a day. And oh, here's our perfect little dog, and we're childless by choice. I'm not knocking the lifestyle. I'm not knocking childless. I'm not knocking dogs. I'm not knocking TikTok. I'm not knocking people who upload to it. But there is a yippie stereotype that is slowly kind of hijacking the community. They've got these humongous fancy rigs. They don't do the work themselves. They don't gain the discipline for themselves. You know, they don't have to do research. They have so much damn money. They don't have to do any research. They don't have to take precautions. They don't have to work out any bugs. They buy a rig that's pre-built, or they buy a big ass van, brand new, and they send it off to somebody who does van builds. They pay for the build. They have all this special stuff, but then when they present it to others, they're like, oh, we chose this and we did this and we did this. Yeah, you chose it, but you didn't do it. So, I'm sure a lot of them actually are nice people, but I have noticed that there are a few that have come out of the woodwork that are really pretentious and really kind of like have this like blind spot, like they're privileged and they don't understand, like, oh, you live in a 10-year-old minivan? Well, why? You could have a one-year-old big van, and this guy could build it out for you. Why did you choose a crappy old minivan? They're so out of touch with reality, and like I said, yippies who probably been privileged their whole lives, just don't understand like the real world, and it's just so adorable to be roughing it. You can come at me all you want, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine. Express your opinion. Do it politely, please. You know, I'm not necessarily the most polite person in the world, but here's the thing, we both have choices. You can choose to not watch my videos, just like I can choose to delete your comment and tell you to go fuck yourself, just like that. So yeah, that's pretty much the small plethora of reasons that people choose van life. And I also will say, actually no, there is a segment of the population that they buy a van and convert it because they want to hit the road just for the summer. Like people who work for public school, or people who, like I said, they're snowbirds. They live somewhere up north, and they're retired, or they, for whatever reason, have the ability to take the entire summer off. You know, they travel north for the summer, or they travel south for the winter. So, yeah, or they have a van that is strictly for when they take the kids camping. Like that, you know, road trips, that kind of thing, so they don't have to have a hotel room. So, like I said, lots of different reasons. You'll obviously have figured out the reason that drives me up the wall. So there's that. So, afterthoughts. Van life requires a lot of discipline. It really does. It requires a lot of planning. The farther along you get with it, the more experience you gain, and the more adventures you have, you'll figure out that, you know, how to plan less and adventure more. It's kind of a... Becoming a van lifer is sort of almost an operation of coming out of your shell and breaking away from the familiar and kind of going down this rabbit hole. And it's self-exploration as well. Here's the thing, you don't know what you're going to think until you're there and you think it. Somebody online that I know, one of my Facebook friends actually said that because, you know, was talking about, you know, I never imagined I'd be in this particular location looking at these trees and hearing these birds. But now that I am, it has stimulated a chain of thoughts that never would have been stimulated before. And that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Yeah, you can't think about something until you make yourself think about it, until you're there, like kind of in the moment, you know, in these surroundings that are new and unusual to you. And they will set off that sort of domino effect of thoughts and feelings. In kind of like meditation, you build this muscle where you come back to yourself and think about yourself and kind of reflect on things. It's discipline, it's cathartic, it's you know, soul searching. I hate to use that word because it's kind of an overused word, but that is literally kind of what it is. I hate to also, another afterthought is people, okay, the online community, when it comes to van lifers, they tend to kind of depict a romanticized version of what van life is actually like. You know, they post videos of themselves smiling, and they're cooking in their vans, or they're swimming, and they're kayaking, and they're hiking, and doing all these fun activities. But here's the thing, van life can be risky. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and something happens and you're miles away from the closest like road or interstate, you can die. Dehydration can become a thing. You can freeze to death in your van. You can die of carbon monoxide poisoning if your heat system or your ventilation system overnight is not set up correctly. It does happen. There are only 3 cases that I actually know of where people died or went missing doing van life. One was an elderly couple, I forget the story, but they were living in their camper and they'd been doing it for years and some weird incident took place. One was a girl who had 2 flat tires, and she was actually living in a Ford Escape, I think. I can't remember her name. She was like in her early 30s, real cute girl. She had 2 flat tires on a mountain road in like some national forest area, and she had a little pet bearded dragon, which is just a cute little, you know, reptile lizard. And so she kind of had no choice but to take off on foot. So she took her bearded dragon, a backpack, and a sleeping bag and some food and stuff, and her phone, and took off on foot, and then she was basically just never found. It's up in the air, you know, was she kidnapped, was she murdered, you know, or did she just kind of go off into the woods and then freeze to death overnight? I don't know. But yeah, it can be dangerous. You encounter these situations and you have to be prepared for them. I'll get into the whole safety thing in another video, but I will say that, you know, it comes across as romanticized in a lot of people's videos, a lot of people's uploads and blog posts and stuff. Yeah, you'll get cold, you'll get filthy, you might be stuck for days without being able to shower. You will have to wash your clothes in your van or in a creek and then hang them up to dry. Or go to a laundromat and sit with a bunch of weirdos or rednecks staring at you like you're crazy, and people wandering around taking pictures of your van or bothering you. You will be in situations where you have to park overnight in a parking lot somewhere. You'll get the knock on the window in the middle of the night, hey, you can't park here. You'll get people messing with you, trying to vandalize your vehicle, or even knocking on the outside of your car while you're sleeping just to be dickheads. Kids, just to pester you and troll you. You'll end up in situations where you gotta pee inside your van into your bucket, but maybe you should have emptied it earlier that day, but you didn't, so now there's a smell and now you can't sleep. You'll get hot, you'll get cold. You might have the occasional breakdown, or you'll have to find somebody, and you'll be in a strange town. You have to pull off to get a repair or get an oil change, and it'll be somebody you don't know doing it. See, here's the reason I say that is because something that's really important to me is going back to the same mechanic over and over again. I have an awesome mechanic. Where I take my van is called Upton's Import Service here in Louisville. Excuse me, in the Middletown area off of Aiken Road behind the Walmart in Middletown, the Supercenter, the Walmart Supercenter. Okay. Oh, just looking at my computer screen. So yeah, I've been taking my cars to them for, God, like 15 or 16 years, I believe, and they are fantastic. They're old timers. They know what the hell they're doing. They have never once fucked up anything on my car. They've never once left a dirty, like, fingerprint nasty mess on the steering wheel or in the seat. They have never once lied to me or tried to rip me off. They've never once treated me the way a lot of mechanics treat women. And I absolutely love them to death, and that's where Reaper is right now, is actually with them. And I will not take my car anywhere else unless it's for, like, tires or brakes or something, just because the last time I had to have brakes done, somebody was helping me pay for it, so I had to take it where they wanted me to take it. And they tried to rip me off, the brake place did. So anyway, yeah, I always take my cars to Upton's because they know what they're doing. They're not going to screw around. They're not going to screw me. So yeah, the idea of actually having to take my car to total strangers, the whole stranger danger, I don't know you, and I'm going to watch you like a hawk, like this, up to the little window while you're working on my car. What are you doing now? What's happening? I'm going to watch them like a hawk, and they're probably going to sneer at me and go, weirdo. But anyway, yeah, that kind of terrifies me, because I actually have had horror stories many years ago in the past where I took my car to chain places or corporate places that had mechanics, and they did stupid things with my car, damaged my car, fixed something incorrectly, or just basically tried to fuck me over. So yeah, that is frightening to me. The idea of having to take my car to someone I've never met before, and I don't know their reputation, I don't know them. Yeah. So yeah, the whole glorified, romanticized notion of van life being nothing but fun and adventures and and whatnot. I'm not going to say it's bullshit, but you're only seeing one side of the coin, is what I'm trying to say. If you're parked somewhere boondocking, you have to deal with rain and gully washes, insects, rodents even. Rodents actually, if you're parked, okay, I don't know, anywhere you're parked in wilderness, you run the risk of having rodents get up into the hood of your van. Because at night they're going to be looking for warmth. So what people do actually when they park their van is they'll open the hood to let light in and to let heat out, and use rodent repellent, because mice, if they get up in the hoodie, up under into your engine bay and stuff in their van, then they can end up actually in your van. They'll be chewing on things, they'll be pooping in there, they'll bring fleas, they'll be getting into your food, and they'll be squeaking in the middle of the night, and they'll make babies. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, rodents are a thing. Also, if you're traveling with a pet, such as a dog or a cat, predators are an issue. Foxes, coyotes, bears, things like that. I would say wolves, but wolves actually avoid people. they're actually very shy creatures. They travel and they don't, a wolf will not run away from the pack to catch a cat or a dog. That just does not happen. There is no documented incident in North America of a healthy wolf or wolf pack going near or even attacking or even going near humans. Now they can be curious, they'll sniff around, but they really won't bother you. You'll hear them howling at night, don't be afraid, as long as you just, you can even howl with them actually. I have met wolves in person and I actually got them howling, it was pretty fun. That's a story for another time, but yeah. Foxes, coyotes, bears, hawks and eagles. Some eagles are big enough to carry a cat away. You're going to have malfunctions with things like your solar panels and your power stations, especially on cloudy days. If you can't get a good 6 to 8 hours of sunlight on your solar panels, you could lose a power station and then lose your refrigerator, lose your lighting. So I'm on the fence as to whether or not I'm actually going to carry a little kerosene or an oil lamp with me. I do have antique oil lamps that are over 100 years old with the little glass chimneys, and you have to put the ribbon, the tape stuff in them. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, van life is not all glitter and rainbows and cutesy things. So anyway, alright, I've been blabbing for quite some time now, so I think I'm going to shut up. Sit my glass of wine down, it's empty anyway. I'm going to shut up and I'm going to kind of just let you guys chew on that a little bit. So the reasons that people choose van life, the types of people that choose van life, and and dispelling the myth that van life is nothing but just fun and cutesy shit, being in nature, the cutesy, fun, hippie shit aspect. You're only seeing one side of the coin, like I said. So get that out of your head, that it's going to be easy and fun. Are you free? Yes. Are you really free? Not completely. You still have to have income, you still have to not die, you still have to take care of your shit. Literally, you gotta dump your shit, you gotta bag up your shit and throw it in a dumpster. It can be hard work. I mean, if you're me, dealing with my shit is hard work, or if you're not me, dealing with my shit is hard work. Alright, so I'm gonna conclude this video, and I'll be on to the next very soon. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, like, share, and subscribe, and I do have a Patreon link. It'll be down in the description. However, it's not clickable yet because I haven't uploaded or whatever enough. Blah blah blah. So I haven't quite reached that tier of productivity on YouTube quite yet. Bye.